I
Yeah.
didn't think I was anybody. I didn't think, and then one day my cousin say, well, one thing I need to make sure you understand that you are somebody because God don't make junk.
Passion, inspiration, determination. Are you ready to jump into a better life? Welcome to our program, Jump Into It. To Jump Into It, a podcast and live show to help you prosper with purpose. And today we have on Jump Into It an honored guest, and we're welcome to have her, Dr. Rhonda Turner. Rhonda is a mental health advocate, marriage and family strategist, author, speaker, and community leader with more than 25 years of impact-driven leadership. She is the founder of For Knowledge is Power Incorporated, and through her work has touched the lives of thousands of individuals, families, and communities across the country. But beyond the titles, Rhonda has worked deeply and personally in her own leadership, which is rooted with her experience in faith, resilience, and powerful commitment to helping people heal, grow, and step into their purpose. Today's conversation isn't about leadership or service. It's about the journey behind the mission, the moments that shaped her, and what it truly means to dream bigger, to reach higher, to achieve more. Welcome to our podcast, Rhonda Turner.
Oh, thank you so much, Gabriel. I appreciate this opportunity. So thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Just before the titles and the leadership, you have accomplished so much. And I'm just wondering, who was the core of Rhonda?
Mm.
Authentic you. What were the experience in your earlier life that shaped you to become the woman you are and the mission that you wanted to accomplish in life?
Well, you're looking at a young lady that has was raised by her grandparents, that was a minister. My grandfather was a pastor. And so, you in being raised by a pastor, there was certain things you just could not do, you just could not say, but you snuck around and did things you weren't supposed to do. Well, in that sneaking, I got caught up and I got pregnant at the age of 17 and had my first child at 18. So you're looking at somebody that just like, I had to start early. I had to do certain things. I had to learn certain things real early. And so it put a lot more on me than what other young people had to go through. So I had to learn quickly and how to navigate life. Even though it wasn't perfect, navigating it was hard, but I did it.
Wow. I mean, to have a child at such an early age, you skip those teenage years and jump right into motherhood. That's
Yeah,
So
yeah,
how
but not,
was that
but
like
not,
in the
but not only
community?
that,
And
but
yeah,
not only that, I got
yeah.
pregnant again at 18 and had the second child at 19. Then got pregnant again, had my third child at 20. So it was like kept going, and people was like, is she gonna ever start having babies? That's that stuff behind you. So yeah, it was more than that. So imagine raising step by step by step 3 boys that was right back to back. And when I had my first one, I was still in high school. When I had my second one, I had just graduated from high school.
Wow. So you went to high school while having three children
2 in high
and
school. Hmm.
while going through high school.
Uh-huh.
So you had your grandparents help you along the way?
They did. But when I graduated from high school, I wound up going and getting my own place.
Yeah.
Yeah, right out of high school. I didn't have a
So you
choice, really.
so the work around mental health and families and leadership and just evolving yourself personally, emotionally, spiritually, and
Hmm.
relationally is all of those things that what you done did at a very early age in raising those children, were those the key stepping stones to where you are today, or were there other challenges that you would add to that experience?
Uh, along the way, certain things, some things that become difficult happen. So my oldest kid's father, he was abusive. So of course you don't know that till you really get into the relationship. But yeah, he was abusive. So it's a lot of things I had to learn. It's a lot of things I had to pray about. It helped me become the strong person I am today. Because a lot of times people look at me right now and they be like, "Oh, she's so strong. She's a power woman. She's superwoman." But they don't know my story. They don't know how I became who I am today because of the struggles that I did go through. And going through things help you become better. If you like, okay, this is not right, this is not what I'm supposed to do, this is not how I'm supposed to do it, you know it was a lot. I had to hold my head up high being a pastor's child in the church, and that was a lot. But remember, I was raised in the church, so my faith was already built. It was just me putting myself where I need to be in my faith.
Wow. And did you have this support of the father? Was he in the picture for all your children, or like, how were the family dynamics? What was Father
Well,
Day like? Was
so what happened was, once I realized the abuse was not how a relationship it was supposed to go, it was time for me to vacate. And I think once when I vacated and I was like, I don't want this, it became, well, you leaving, nobody's going to want you with three kids. And so you're going to be on your own. Mainly that's how it was to me. And it was rough. It was rough. So I worked three jobs to take care of my kids.
three? And how do you go about juggling three kids, three jobs? Now, and you are a very highly educated woman that has accomplished a lot. So how did you master all this, and what kept you driving to keep moving forward?
Well, I can say, just like you said, having three jobs, three kids, my grandmother helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Um, I had to pay bills. And I don't know if you know much about the area that I'm in. It's expensive and it never catches up with each other. You get this paid a little and you have all these bills. So I had to work three jobs. So she helped me out a lot. So if she had to keep them, so like I work a full-time job, but then I'll go work a part-time job at one place. If I didn't work that job then I'll go to the next job. So that's what happened. But then later on in life, I met my husband, and he was the one that, really helped push me as I pushed him to who we are today.
Okay. Okay. So having that right partnership in your
Having that
life.
right partnership.
Yeah,
My husband
that's
think I
always
can
the
jump over the
key.
moon. My husband think I can jump over the moon, and I'd be like, "Well, isn't it too high? I can't get over there." So he is very supportive in everything I do. So that helps a lot because what happened was when I decided to go to school, who kept the children? He did.
Hmm.
Okay,
Wow. Wow.
when I
Wow.
decided to go
Yeah.
back to school, whenever I decided to work, he kept the children. So that was a blessing. And sometimes God takes you through things, but He knows eventually He knows how you're going to get out of it. And so He sent me this amazing man. I'm not going to say that we never went through anything, but He sent me this amazing man to help me move the needle forward and become the person who I am today.
Wow. Yeah. 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 Wow. I mean, choosing the right partner in life is one of the critical, most important
Oh,
decisions a woman.
yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, we don't always are equipped with being able to determine who's the right guy for you and
Oh,
who's not. And
Well,
that's
that's how I wind up with what that's what I was in, what I was in. Because we don't know. You just don't know who you get. I mean, you can go and study them and all that. When you move in with somebody, boy, look at here. You see all the dirty, dirty laundry then. Oh, you just see it all, you know. And one thing that I realized in my life is I went from one daddy to another daddy. He wasn't my mate. He was more like my daddy. You couldn't wear this. You couldn't, back then they had beepers. You couldn't have a beeper. You couldn't have this. You couldn't have that. You can't wear those pants. He actually cut up my pants one day. It was like, and
Do you think
and
it
if
was?
you don't know better, if you wasn't taught better, some people think that that's what you're supposed to go through.
Yeah.
And that's not.
Well, do you think it was an age thing because you were so young that you fell into that parent-child dynamics?
I think it had something, but both of us was young,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think it.
So
I think it
okay.
had a lot to do with
Yeah. Yeah.
both. Fell into it. I knew I had to do what I needed to do because being raised by my grandparents was wonderful, and I thank
Mm,
God every day that they did, because I wouldn't know where I would have been at if I didn't.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
so I am grateful for that. But being a young girl that you go have friends and they with their parents and their parents taking them to the mall and they get to walk around, and only time we went to the mall was after church, and my grandparents went to go eat at the restaurant, and then we could walk around the mall. But they were very like closed in, and you can't go here unless you go with an adult, and so it was all that.
But you
But
still managed to get three kids out of that. You still,
I, one day I'll tell you the secret.
I guess you must have snuck
And
it, snuck
listen,
out of that mall when they weren't looking. I guess so.
yes,
So you,
and when was that? When was that not looking? I would never sneak anybody in my parents' house. That was not.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah.
But well, when you're at school, what happens?
Okay, yeah. They
Okay, yeah,
can't be at all
you
places
leave.
all the
You
time.
leave with your friends, and what happens by doing those things that you once wasn't supposed to do?
Yeah,
You get caught up, and that's what people have to understand. When you're doing things and it's not right, you get caught up, and I
yeah,
got caught up. And I
yeah.
got caught up.
Well, well, Rhonda, your work often intersects with faith and purpose.
Hmm.
And how is your inner life, your beliefs, faith, your spiritual grounding support you through these challenging seasons of your life?
Well, as I stated, knowing, I often say I'm glad my grandparents did raise me, because they taught me to have fear of God and knowing God. And what if I was with someone else? Would I have learned that? So sometimes, the Bible say, train the child in the way that you want them to go, and he shall not. And I believe that's what happened for me. I had to come back, because I remember real good. I used to say, I can't wait till I get my own place. I said, I'm not going to never make my children go to church this much, because we was there every time the doors had to open. And I was like, I will never make my children go to church this much. But as I got older, I understood it. And
Mm,
I'm glad that they did that for us, because it helped build our faith. It helped build us to who we are today.
yeah, yeah. And maybe you can share a little bit with our audience about your major accomplishments of how you've helped thousands of families and how you've helped them.
So it was because of what I went through, like especially the abuse. I began to work with youth in my community, building programs, building events for them to enjoy. Like, I know kids liked dancing, but back then it was like stepping. And because they like stepping, they would join the program. But I knew if I can get them in stepping, I can get them do some other things, like going to the nursing homes to sit and talk with
Oh.
older people. And when I was growing up, I was in a singing group, and that's what we did. We went around and cleaned up the elderly's homes, prayed with them, sing with them. So we were known in our community, this group, this singing group, young singing group of girls and one boy, was about going around cleaning homes and singing and just making the elderly feel so joyous. And so that was embedded in my head. If I can get them to do something positive in community, this is what they want something from that. So they couldn't perform if they don't participate in any of these activities. So that's how I started out. And then I wind up thinking, at first it was hard. I didn't want to tell the kids, what I've been through. But then I thought that some kids need to know it's not all peachy out there. And that's how a lot of that started for me, building in communities by building the teens little bit by little bit.
Do you focus mostly on teens?
No, not anymore. I used to.
Okay. All right.
I used to. That's where I started.
Yeah.
I started with working with teens. But you got to understand, you're talking to somebody that self-esteem was blown.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was anybody. I didn't think, and then one day my cousins say, well, one thing I need to make sure you understand that you are somebody, because God don't make junk. And I was like, I never even looked at it like that, but that helped me, even though it still took more work. And even though I went to school for mental health and marriage and family, I too had to go and get some help because of, people have done, beat you down. Oh, she's nothing. She's not going to be nothing. She got 3 kids. She ain't going to be this and that and that. But so when you can look at me now and see all the accolades and stuff that I get now, but people don't know the story. People don't know one thing I can tell you, everybody has a story. Yours might not be as bad as mine.
That's true.
But everybody have a story. Now, for those that went through something in life, because I was in a book and it was about 26 women. And, I'm thinking my story is deep. I done been abused. I done had 3 kids. I'm thinking, wow. But when I hear a story of a young lady that grew up in a home where she was constantly raped by a family member, then get married to someone that did the same thing to her child.
Oh, yeah, that's really ugly. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I just
Go
had
ahead.
a healer that on our last show, and I asked her what was the number one thing that women come to her for healing, and it's sexual abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. And I thank God that, I went through something, but somebody's story may be worse than mine. So I'm grateful that I'm able to do what I do, encourage women, help them through that next step. Everybody that I work with is not abused, but everybody has a story.
Yeah. I mean, there's this, I believe in a way, God only gives you what you can handle. So if stuff's coming at you and it's coming out strong, that only means you can handle it, right?
Yeah.
So, you just got to step back and say, he's got your back, and you'll get through it.
Well, he had my back. He had my back many times. So yeah, I'm grateful.
So, how do you redefine, success? What does success mean to you? How do you define success?
Well, I'm always reaching for it. It is never just, sometimes I guess I always would tell people, when you've been through some storms, it's hard to keep building yourself up. You had, like I tell you, the self-esteem that I had for a long time was like, okay, who looking at me? They talking about me or this or that. So to me, My success is me keep striving for greatness. It's just my continued success is striving for greatness.
So what is greatness to you though? Can you define what greatness is to you, Lauren?
Greatness is being comfortable in who I am, being comfortable with what I do, being able to help others. That I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Because even though I've been through some rainy days, I can see the sunshine.
I can see you glow with sunshine. You glow with sunshine. So I have another interesting question. It's about leadership. So many women leaders feel pressure to be strong, available,
Mm,
and together at all times. What do you think women most need permission to release right now?
knowing who they are. Because I don't care if you with a whole bunch of women. First, you got to make sure you work on yourself, understanding who you are.
Yeah,
Because you can be with many women, but if you don't know who you are, you change up every time you with a different one.
yeah.
You,
I mean,
you
yeah.
go ahead.
I mean, we've had to be, through the generations, do you remember when women walked around with the big broad shoulder jackets? So they
Uh
wanted
huh.
to emulate the way men were in the workforce, in the corporate. And now we've kind of softened that where you can bring forth more femininity in your leadership style.
Uh
But,
huh.
I think, women are still feeling uncomfortable and
They
vulnerable
are.
to really expose who they are. So, and,
But do you know
knowing
why
that,
that is?
yeah, well, that's what I'm going to ask you. Why is that?
It's what they were taught.
Yeah,
It's what they were taught that
yeah.
men are here, women are here. Stay in your place.
Hmm.
Stay in your
Hmm.
place. And it's still there, but it's not as bad as it was.
Yeah.
So I think is culture is what you were taught. One of the things I can tell you, all cultures did this. No, you cannot go outside your home and tell what's happening in your home. So
Yes.
many
What
people,
happens in the phone stays in home. Yes,
what
yes.
happens in
I've had,
what,
I got divorced. My ex used to say that as well. So,
yeah,
you live in shame if you're abused because
yes,
you can't talk to anyone. You think you're in that isolation. You think that you're the only one.
and they make you
Yeah.
think nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's
Yeah.
coming to save you. So
No.
I really think the issue is we still living in that time where we believe that you have to stay in your place. You have to stay there. We often believe that. I saw something on Facebook. I saw a little video that this guy came up with the zip up quarter sweaters to go for an interview. Right. So tell
Yeah.
me what happened years ago. How do you go to an interview?
We used to wear suits, right? You would dress for success. Fake it till you make it, right? Like, oh,
But who says that was success? Because you dress like that.
it's all well, culture. It's all a perception thing. It's the society defines what success is, and then we just adapt that belief system,
That's what it
and we
is.
move forward with it, right? So,
That's
yeah,
what it is. But now he has a trend that's going. They wear their sweaters and the quarter zip up sweaters, and they can go to an interview. So now that's trending, and people like I saw I work at a school, and I saw a young man get out the car yesterday, and I said, oh. I see you got on a quarter zipped up sweater. And he was like, yeah, we got a game today. I said, oh, so y'all supposed to be dressed up in your quarter zip. So, instead of wearing suits now, it's like, oh, we're going to wear the sweaters. So that's how we get it caught up in once the trend and people do this and people do that. And that's what you're supposed to do. And that's what you're supposed to wear. That's, it was a time in church, you have to wear a dress with stockings. Well, who
Yeah.
came up with that rule?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Well,
people
yeah.
don't. I do not wear stockings to church.
You don't wear,
Don't do that.
especially not. Can I ask where do you live?
I live in Palm Beach, West Palm Beach, Florida.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm in
so it
Florida.
gets
Where?
pretty hot if you have to wear stockings.
Well, maybe that's it. But you remember, I lived in Florida all my life, so they didn't care nothing about you. They didn't care how hot it was. You better put on them stockings when you walk in that church.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we still do that today. I mean, I remember when corporate dress was you always wear a suit, and I worked for a the largest financial institution in Canada in marketing, and then came the casual day, the casual Fridays. Well, I'll tell you, it
Mm-hmm.
took me 3 times longer to decide what to wear
What
on
you wear?
casual Friday than it did from Monday to Thursday because now there were no guidelines, there were no guardrails on what you could wear and what's acceptable and what isn't. I mean, now nobody wears a suit. So now, as you said, with the zipper, they
Mhm.
need some, guidance on what that style looks like because the old rules are old. The former rules are old rules, and now
Yes.
what is defined as acceptable? I mean, you know what wouldn't wear flip-flops to work.
Right.
I mean, there's
Right.
certain right.
Right.
Remember the rule, don't wear white after Labor Day, right? So
Yeah.
like we need those in order to fit into society. My girlfriend, she was a school teacher. She says the kids are showing up like they just crawled out of bed, pajamas and slippers.
Yes. Oh my God. I
And
work in a school, so yes, I know.
yeah,
I know. And shorts up to yang yang, but I know.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I
Right?
know.
Where when I was going to, and I'm dating myself for sure. When I was going to school, you could not, and I grew up north, and it would be 40 below weather, and you could not wear pants to school. You had to
Oh
wear a dress.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, right? But you know what? Now it's an unwritten rule, but we all are still conforming, and I think that's all part of who we are. We want to feel like we're part of the tribe. We want to feel like we're part of, a group of some. Every the leather jackets,
We want to
the
belong. We want to
right?
belong. We want to
You want to
belong.
belong, right? So, they may look ridiculous, but if there are five of them all dressed the same ridiculous way, they feel that they belong somehow. So I
Yeah.
don't know if that's going to go away. I don't think that's going to go away. Who we right?
It has its doubts sometimes, but most of the time it comes right back together.
Yeah. Okay. So another question. If you could speak to a woman who feels called to serve or lead, but feels unsure, overwhelmed, or afraid, what would you want her to hear?
That she is
What would you?
important. That she's somebody. How you said, girl, you are somebody because God don't make junk. But and it's
Yeah.
true. We don't we don't we don't hear those positivities. We listen to more of the negative. If somebody came and told you today, oh, you had a wonderful show. I am so excited about your show being moving, and you would be like, oh, thank you. Okay, right? But if somebody came and said, child, that was so awful, you could have did better. That sticks right here. And
Yeah.
come on,
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
happens. And we don't
Yeah.
know how to continue to encourage others. We too busy pulling them down and saying, child, even you have to be mindful with the things that you have going on, the things that you're trying to do, telling everybody, because people, you don't know who's intimidated by you or who's jealous of you.
Hmm.
So until you can put it all together, you have to be a little mindful who you share it with.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
You need to
Yeah.
write down
Sometimes,
your
yeah.
vision. You write down
Yeah.
your vision and you make it plain for your understanding, because everybody will not understand it. I would tell you years ago, I had wrote down my vision and I said, okay, I have this USA step where everybody in the USA that have a step group, we're going to come together and we're going to do this step, right? So then I say, well, and I'm going to do this piece about marriage, honoring married couples. So I presented it to a couple of my friends and associates. One of my associates was like, hey, girl, them people grown. Leave them married people alone. They don't, this USA step is the one. Now, guess what? USA step didn't even work. So
Mm,
I'm
yeah.
back around to what? The marriage piece that I do.
Yeah.
And it's been
Yeah.
in existence for 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So
yeah, in
go ahead.
marketing, like anything, you don't what you think is right, and being an entrepreneur, and you can probably relate to it too, is that what you think might be right,
Mm-hmm.
but when you take it to the world, they shift it and they shape
Yeah,
it to personally what is meaningful for them,
for
and
them.
then it grows and it has a life of its own. And really strong brands or strong companies, they have to, when you, it's like a baby, you send it out into the world and you've done everything you can, and then society takes it from there and transforms it. So, and if it's meaningful and resonates with them, it goes in a very strong, meaningful, and snowball way. And if it doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of dies and it shifts to something else. But that's good too, because you know what? You want to have something that's going to be meaningful and not hold on. I mean, the biggest mistake businesses make is to hold on to that baby. They fall in love with that creation, even
Right.
though that creation becomes outdated or it's not relevant. And you just got to kind of sometimes say, put it to pasture.
Yeah. The pastor. Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I get it. So yeah, I would just encourage people to to listen to the positive. There's going to be negative in anything you do. You could be great at what you do, and there's somebody that's not going to be happy with what you do. So as long as you did right by people, you continue to do what you need to do.
So, I understand certainly empathize with the challenging years that you had as a teenager and the young children that you had to raise and having the multiple jobs. But, later in life, when you found this amazing man, you still, I'm sure, had challenges. Like
Oh yeah.
what at that chapter of your life were your most challenging moments, and how did you overcome those?
Well, I think not having what I needed to move forward with entrepreneurship or business wise was one of my biggest challenge. And I would tell you that in my job at one year, I said every time people would send people to me to be counseled, like, okay, going out to Miss Rhonda, she got you. Let her listen to you, and she'll help you. And I said one day, I was like, wow, they keep sending everybody here to me. I need to go on back to school and get my degree. And that's what like opened up doors like, okay, I can do this. Now, I'm going to tell you, when I was doing it before I went to school, I
Yeah.
would be talking back and forth with them, like saying to them what's good to do. Right. Then going to
Yeah.
school, you understand, baby, I need you to tell me what you're going to do about that, instead of me telling you what you need to do. So I think that was my biggest challenge is knowing my direction at first. And of course, finance is always sometimes can be a big problem because I don't make $1 million in community stuff. This is something you have to do
Mm,
out the heart. You have to know that this is something that you love doing, because I
mhm,
don't make
mhm.
like the dollars for it. I'm giving dollars, really. So yeah, so finance is a piece of that challenge too.
Yeah. Your need to serve came from your family, your father being a minister. If you were raised differently, do you think you would still have that strong calling to serve
I think
others?
I would. I think it's me.
Yeah.
As is, I think it has a lot to do with who I am, and I love helping people. I love helping people. I help so much that my kids used to be like, I moved in kids, and I did all of that. So I think it's me. I don't think it's just my grandparents. I just think it's in my DNA.
Yeah. Can you share a story of challenging situation on how you helped someone in your life that impacted them and also emotionally impacted you?
Let's see. Hmm. Okay. I had one young lady that I had like two young ladies. But I had one young lady that was actually, her culture was a Haitian. And because she was over here, she, you know, she didn't want to be considered that back then. Like, I don't want to be known as no Haitian. I'm not no Haitian. Um, so when it came down, she didn't want anybody to meet her real mom. She didn't want anybody to know where she lived. And for a while, that was like, and I had to learn who she was to be able to help her. So I'm glad that I was able to help her and her mom in that situation where they were able to get along better, because she was like, I'm gonna do what I want to do because I don't want to be considered as that. I want to do this. So,
Was she a troubled teenager? Was that
wasn't
or
totally troubled, but she was
okay?
troubled enough, and she was heading in the wrong direction.
Okay.
She was heading in the wrong direction. And then I had one that, and it's not only girls. I didn't move any boys in, but boys stayed around our house because I have I have four sons, and
Oh, now
my
you got
husband.
a fourth one with the. You just kept going.
I have five
You
kids
have
altogether now.
children. You have five.
I have five. I have five. When I married, when me and my husband got together, I had a son and my daughter. She is 18 and my son is 28.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
I can
oh
tell
yeah,
you're an amazing parent. You can adopt me.
I no, because I just had her 18th celebration, and my
Yeah.
thing was, after she turned 18, I looked back and I was like, guess what? There's nobody behind her. So I
Uh-huh.
was excited. It's so
Well, do
excited.
you have grandchildren? Bring on the
I
grandchildren.
I do. I have five grandkids.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
five.
Yeah.
But
That's nice.
because I started the age I did,
Yeah.
okay, you can bring them over here for a little bit, but they're going back with you.
Yeah.
So I'm that type of grandma. You got to remember, I've been having children all my life. It is my time now. So that's how I am with that. But I had another young lady that one day her aunt called me and she was like, I need you to go over there. I need you to help. She such and such, such and such. And her mom called me and said, well, she stayed home and she's not going to school like she should. So I moved her in with me. And I
Oh,
helped
okay.
her finish school, graduate, and then she went off to college. So,
Wow. Wow.
but I would tell you, I was strict. I
Yeah.
was a strict person. Like, I was so strict with my oldest child. He went the opposite. Went like, yeah. People be like, well, no, she was very strict, but he off the chain. Yeah, probably because he probably like my mom was so hard on us. But I was a strict, but I will give you the world. I will
Yeah.
give them the world. So I stayed in many of these young people lives when they was young, definitely.
Yeah. So when people think about your legacy and what you've built, how
Mhm.
do you want to be remembered?
A person that cared,
Mhm.
a person that really cared. Um, I would tell you, in my community, many people know me. Many people know me. Um, so I would want to be considered as Miss Rhonda. No, Miss Rhonda was tough, but but she cared. She'll give you the shirt off her back. So I would tell you many kids probably was like, oh, Miss Rhonda was so mean, but then they come back years later and say, Miss Rhonda, thank you. Thank you. Because if it wasn't for you, I don't know where I would be. Because sometimes you have to be tough on them. Because that world don't care nothing about them when they get on that other side. Right
True.
now, you in with your mama, you got that guidance. But whenever you get out there in that
true.
world, you got to know what steps to take and how you gonna take them.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
yeah,
That's true.
I have a
And it's
student that
getting
just
harder.
graduated 3 years ago from the school that I'm a counselor at, and I would be on her, like when I tell you on her. So next thing I know, she started coming after she graduated, probably like a year later, she'll start coming by and speaking and talking, just having conversation. I'm a little different now because graduated from high school, so I'm a little different. And she's like just coming in and having conversation with me and having conversation with me. And over the last year and a half, we became closer. So I'll invite her to come to this event or come to that, and she would try to come. And she said she was doing videos, and I said, oh, well, let me give you this opportunity. You want to do the video? So I do give them that opportunity. And now she works. I got her doing a tutoring program with me.
Fantastic. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I can
So,
tell, you got a big heart. You have a big heart. So in our closing, and I want to say, Rhonda, it's been amazing. One of the questions we like to ask our guests are, what does prosper with purpose mean to you at this stage of your life and leadership?
prosper with purpose.
Yeah.
Hmm. I'm trying to, I know what it is to me. I'm trying to, I would say, do what you want to do, but have a purpose behind it. Have a purpose behind what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because it's important.
Great answer. Great answer. Great answer. I mean, I find that people drift when they don't have a purpose.
That's right.
Yeah. So we have to
That's
find,
right.
and you know what? And if you don't know what the purpose is, that
Oh,
becomes the purpose.
and yes, the purpose with the problem because you don't know.
That's right. The purpose is the problem. Well, thank you so much, Rhonda. So if somebody wants to get in touch with you, or if you want to share some of the services or anything else that you're doing in the community, how would they get to learn more about you
Well,
and meet you?
they can always reach me at info@forknowledgeispower.org. And I can I just tell them some of the things that I have going on right quick?
For sure. Absolutely.
So usually I do under my nonprofit, I do a college tour that's 7 to 8 days long where I take kids across the world, across the U.S. on college historical tours where they learn what they need to go to college, and they also learn their history. So we take them to historical sites and they learn their history. Now sometimes we have kids that be like, I don't want to go. This is my spring break. I don't want to go. But then when they come back, when the next one, Miss Rhonda? We just had, and I would tell you, these kids have an awesome time together. And then I have the marriage awards coming up in July where we honor, right now it's just people in Florida, but we do bring people in from all over that wants to be a part of the panel. But we only honor married couples that's been married 7 years, and that is the traditional marriage for 7 years, and we honor them out of Florida. Along with that, one of our fundraisers, the golf tournament that will be coming up on May 30th. And that's to help with all this stuff that we try to do for our community. Other than that, these are the things that I do have. A women leadership transformation program that is coming about in 2027, the Wife Blueprint, where I interview married women. So if you are interested in being interviewed by me, join the Wife Blueprint. Then I also have the Women Business Connect, where I have a podcast as well. And that's about women that have business and that want to collaborate with other women. I also have the group that's called the Marriage Institute for the Married Couple. I know, you got a lot going on, right?
Yeah, you got a lot going on.
But I have
Wow.
a content training and leadership and empowerment that I'm putting into cities all across from anywhere. It doesn't have to be right here in Florida, but just anywhere. If you need somebody to come in and teach your leadership or empowerment, I am me, and I have a team. And I do magazine covers. I do that. I do flyers. I set up conferences and seminars. I'm getting ready to do one for a university, and it's a weekend of sessions to learn and continue to learn. So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Is that all?
I didn't get
Awesome.
all, but that's it. That's the main
Yeah,
leg.
that's it. Is everything on your website that you've listed, or?
I have different websites. That's the kicker. I have different websites. For Knowledge is Power is one of my main websites, but like the Wife Blueprint is a group in Facebook. The Women Business Connect is a group in Facebook. The Women Business Connect came up under the when I first created it. It was about it was first called Black Women Business Connect. Mm-hmm. And it was mainly going to be about me getting a directory together so people can locate different people. Like, say, if I went to Texas, okay, well, let me see who in Texas. Let me support their business. That's what it has started out to be about.
Oh, okay.
But then I changed it up, and it's now All Cultures Women Business Connect.
You swung the door open and accepted everyone.
I swung the door open.
That's awesome. Thank you, Rhonda. You're a really dynamic person, and I'm so glad
Thank you.
could accept to be a guest on Jump Into It.
And I thank you for the invitation.
You're welcome. So join us on our next show. We'll have another fabulous guest whose journey is sure to inspire you. To learn more about Jump Into It, we have Facebook page, Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also listen to Jump Into It podcast on your favorite platform. We are on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple, to name a few. With the courage and knowledge to bring your ideas to life, get ready to jump into it. Thank you for listening.
Jump into it.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. At Jump Into It, we empower business owners, marketers, and entrepreneurs to turn their dreams into reality. Want to supercharge your marketing efforts? Grab Jump Into It Breakthrough Marketing Guide, now available on Amazon. Uncover how to stop wasting time and money and create effective marketing strategies that deliver results with no more guesswork. Ready to take it further? Join our expert-led training at 360integralmarketing.com and get practical tools you can use right away. Don't miss out. Tune in to our podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple TV for exclusive insights. Stay ahead of the game. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. With the courage and knowledge to bring your ideas to life, get ready to jump into it.